Today, let's open a controversial book on premarital sex.
How extensive is the knowledge of today's youth when it comes to it?
What made them indulge to the most sacred element of love in an early age?
What are the consequences of giving in to our sexual desires, and what can we possibly do to resist such temptation?
All that and more as we place a mark on a blank page.
Known for being conservative, being liberated is considered as taboo. But as generations went by, drastic cultural changes happened, and that includes sex. Fornication or premarital sex. This is one of the most talked about issues among the youth. From the previous decades, the view of the youngsters on this issue drastically changed, from being conservative to liberal, due to various influences. Youths from foreign countries may have different views when it comes to sex. But how extensive is the knowledge of Filipino youth to this issue?
Premarital sex is a immoral act which the teenagers or the people who are not yet married always deviate from it.
I think it's not okay, pero since influence siya it's brought by the rapid westernization of our country. So, pero may option naman ng people para wag mag-go with the flow. So I think it's just a matter of family values kung paano turuan, kung sasabay ba tayo sa premarital sex or hindi.
Para sa akin, hindi ako agree sa premarital sex kasi sex itself is a sacred thing about marriage. It's about a man and a woman having intimate within themselves, and then I'm not agreeing with it.
Being conservative is one of our Filipino trademarks. It has been deeply rooted in our culture. But the cliche of it, we tend to adapt today's social change and even outdo the most liberated of countries when it comes to sex.
Never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. No need to pretend. I know you're not a fool. Should've known better.
When it comes to sex, Filipinos are becoming more adventurous. In fact, the average age of Filipinos that are active in premarital sex are getting younger. Are these signs that Filipinos are being more liberated when it comes to sex?
According to a study by the University of the Philippines Population Institute, 1 out of 4 Filipinos aged 15 to 24 are engaging in premarital sex. In all ages, a shocking actual percentage rate of 51% of Filipinos engage in premarital sex. This year's study also says that close to 4 million youngsters are engaging in premarital sex, with 30% of the respondents doing it in their own homes, while 18% were doing it inside motels and hotels.
It's sad to know that a large number of youth give in to the temptations. As what the statistics have shown, But what could be the reason why they involve in premarital sex?
And our next category is songs about sex.
Sex? Nah, 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 come on. Nah, 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 come on, come on, come on. 'Cause I may be bad, but I'm perfectly good at it. Sex in the air, I don't care, I know the smell of it. The sticks and stones may break my bones, but chains and whips excite me. 'Cause I may be bad, but I like it.
Sex, baby, let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex.
All right.
Let's talk about sex.
A little bit.
Let's talk about sex,
Baby,
baby.
all through the night I'll make love to you like you want.
Media influences social change. The less possible cause is endless. But let's narrow it down to the topmost reason. What drives the people, most especially among youth, to get indulged on premarital sex?
Ang 15 anyos na si Roy at ang 13 anyos na si Teresa, hindi nila mga tunay na pangalan. 5 buwan pa lang daw ang kanilang relasyon, pero madalas na raw silang mag-jer-jer.
Yung first time po, parang pumapasok sa isip ko, yung ba feeling ng ganito. Kasi po, pag may barkada po kami, kwento-kwento, ganyan po. Parang tingin po namin tama yung ganun. Tsaka iniisip na rin po namin, natural po sa bata, pero wag lang po ganong maaga.
Malaya raw nila itong nagagawa, lalo na pag wala ang kanilang mga magulang. Minsan daw, ginagawa rin nila ito sa bahay ng kanilang mga kaibigan. At hindi sila gumagamit ng anumang proteksyon.
Hindi mo na rin po kasi may isip yun. Pag nandun na po kayo sa point na gano'n, hindi mo na rin po may isip yun. Parang may isip mo na lang po, bahala na nga. Ganun. Sa mga kabataan po ngayon yung mga magsisyota po. Parang pag wala pong sex, pag without sex, parang walang saysay yung relasyon nila. Karamihan po kasi lalaki ngayon, yun lang po habol.
Ikaw yung mahabol mo sa kanya?
Hindi naman po. Opo, sa ibang babae, aminin ko po. Ayun lang po habol ko. Pero, hindi po.
Ano?
Bolero.
There is no behavior without reason. We examine reasons why Christian youth do fall into sins of fornication by asking professionals and teenagers as to what are the top causes why they practice fornication at an early age.
Meet Nene, 22 years old. At the age of 17, she gave in to the temptations of fornication.
Siguro out of curiosity na din. Pero yun lang yung rason ko eh. Then, hindi. Actually, yung first time ko hindi. Out of curiosity lang talaga. Kasi nga, di ba, sa edad natin, sa edad na ganito, lahat ng kabataan parang nagiging curious sa mga bagay-bagay. So, gano'n, parang trend na din siya kasi nga pinag-uusapan ng mga mag-overkada. Tapos, nagiging out of place ako kasi wala akong kaalam-alam sa mga gano'n. So, nung nagkaroon ng chance, parang ginaw ko na rin. Kinuha ko na.
Nena, 21 years old, tells a similar story, but her experience is unexpected.
Kasi lasing kami pareho eh. Sa bahay ng tropa, ganyan. Tapos, yun na yun.
Popoy confesses the same story of giving in to fornication at an early age. But how it started, it's the other way around.
Dahil sa girlfriend ko noon, college student siya. And I'm still in high school. Then lagi ako ini-invite niya sa boarding house na. Yun. Siya yung nag-aya. So, yeah.
Different reasons, different situations, one forbidden act. What does the experts say regarding the increasing number of youth involving fornication?
Basically, it is not the nature of Filipino youth to somehow be involved with this kind of activity, but somehow because of the influence of the mass media, the internet, and whatever that they can find that they can see around them, the influence of peers, so somehow they would think that others are doing it. Many of them are doing it, so there's nothing wrong if they would also do it.
Premarital has nothing to do with the goodness of people, especially Christian ones. Premarital sex is meaningless. There's no contribution. It's just a mere pleasure, and it has nothing good that can contribute to the human life. So it is taboo, absolute taboo in the church, and I hope it must be absolute taboo also in the society, especially the Philippines.
As the list of causes are never ending, what could be the effects of fornication among youth, morally and society-wise?
Maybe because of, siguro sa akin, kaya siguro nagawa yun because of temptation. Not only temptation, but because siguro peer pressure. Kasi diba, it happens, nangyayari talaga siya sa maraming tao, maraming kabataan ngayon. So, hindi na rin siya na bawala sa bawat isa sa atin. So, if gumawa ka siguro ng, if you do premarital sex siguro, just see to it that you will not be preggy.
I think they lack stronger family ties, and I think they lack basic education about sex and why it should be avoided sa early stages sa ilang life. And I think they're just giving into peer pressure. So I think it's the people na engage sa premarital sex at a very young age are just irrational.
Every act has its cause. Every cause has its effect. The way of life has been like that since the beginning of time. So, with the issue of premarital sex, what are its consequences?
First was the pleasure, pain comes afterwards. These people open their books and share the after effects of their actions.
Regrets? Regrets kasi parang yun lang yun. I thought yung parang sa dinami-dami ng sinasabi nila, iba yung na-experience ko sa yung mga ikinikwento ng mga barkada ko. So, yun, parang sinayang ko yung pagkakataon. Sinayang ko yung kung anong yung meron ako. Noong una, siyempre, wala akong regrets. Kasi we were both in love. Kala namin we're in love. Tapos, later on, yun na yung regret.
Regrets in second one.
Na sana hindi mo binigay. Kasi, di ba, purity. Tapos kasi before, bago pa ako pumasok dyan sa PMS, may paniniwala ako na ang best gift sa husband mo after your marriage is your virginity. Just wala na.
Was there a feeling of regret for giving it up in a very
Hindi naman.
Hindi ka ba nag-50 na hindi mo siya binigay sa future wife?
Medyo.
Was there a feeling of remorse for your partner?
Wala naman.
Yung first time mo, was there a feeling of regret for giving it up in a relationship?
But actually for me, hindi nagmamatter.
No, they don't think it is something that, because remember, when you have sex with someone, it's just you have a certain kind of connection. Then you're just separated. It's not only you who got affected by it, it's also the other person. The same when you put together two pieces of paper, glue them together, when you separate them, what happened? Diba? Both sheets of paper are damaged. And that's what would happen if people would engage in premarital sex. No? At the end, there is a so-called emotional impact. Sometimes they will still deny it. But somehow the effect of it would be psychological.
No, you know what? He's right. I don't need one.
You know why I don't need one? Because there's no one that I'm in love with. It's called making love, isn't it? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I think that means that you do it with someone you love. And preferably when you're married.
In today's modern yet liberated times, giving into the temptations seems to be the norm. We might be heavily influenced by vast media and other factors, but how can we possibly say no?
And how can we stay chaste?
Nothing is constant in this world. That's why changes exist. We've asked these youngsters if they are open for changes and if they would avoid further premarital sex.
Are you open for changes?
Siyempre naman. Wala namang ibang constant sa mundo besides change.
So ngayon, may plano ka ba na stage change or what?
Oh, parang ganun na, mag-iwas.
Are you open for change?
Pwede rin.
Yung percentage ng pwede rin mo, kunwari 70-30 ba, 50-50, na hindi ano ka?
50-50 kasi hindi mo naman matatansa kasi lalaki. So, pag lalaki kasi, pag may ganun na hindi nakaka-avoid, madaling matempt lang.
So what is the best thing to do to stay chaste?
Teenagers sometimes wonder. They always tell us we shouldn't become sexually involved, but they never tell us the limits. What are the limits? Before marriage, do not do anything to arouse the powerful emotions that must be expressed only in marriage. In addition, for the strength of youth, list some specific things we should not do. It says, do not participate in passionate kissing, lie on top of another person, touch the private sacred parts of another person's body with or without clothing, or allow anyone to do that to you. If you stray from the path, you can return. In a world that's full of temptation, it can be challenging to stay virtuous, but it's worth it. When you obey God's commandment to be sexually pure, you prepare yourself to make and keep sacred covenants in the temple. You prepare yourself to build a strong marriage and to bring children into the world as part of a loving family. When we look at the big picture, it's easy to realize that it's worth it to keep God's commandment to be sexually pure.
The list of possible ways to observe chastity is endless. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to our own choice, to our love of God, to our love of ourselves, and to our discipline.
Today's hottest topics being discussed page by page. This is Julie Burgoyne. No topics will be left out as every story is ready to discuss. This is Christiana Jane Pimentel.
Hearing the voice of the people as we face multi-social dilemma. I am Rosalie Tayo.
As we place a mark on this story, we'll let history reread this page. This is Danita Hizet.
Actions may speak louder than words, but words that are etched last longer, leaving a mark as a part of history. This is Marijo Indira Gandhi Saligumba.
As we close this chapter, let's put into our minds that we are the future. This is Bronze August.
In a country known for being conservative, being liberal... Again! Sad to know that a large number of youth give in to the temptation. As what the statistics...
There is no reason without behavior.
They...
Action na!
Hearing the voice of the people.